G'day, I'm Kevin. I've been here in Thailand for about a year now, travelling, relaxing, exploring and learning. Living here in Chiang Mai, Thailand, and the adventure continues. This is 52 weeks. If you look carefully down to the end of the street, you will see Sydney Harbour. A big kind of metal bridge structure in front of it is the Car Hill Expressway and the railway line. Metal and cement. So I wanted to do this walk for you, just down the street, just to show you that, you know, as you're walking down the city and you come to the harbour end of it, what the city streets look like, and then how it opens up into the harbour. So one of the things about Sydney is the waterfront is absolutely beautiful. Might even be catching your first glimpse of the Sydney Harbour. Oh, that timing was good. One of the things I'm getting used to back in Australia is that traffic lights and pedestrian crossings actually mean something. So, you know, cars will stop you at a pedestrian crossing, mostly. Okay, just let this truck go through. Obviously no pedestrian crossing there. Okay, and here we are, Sydney Harbour. This is Circular Quay. So it's a main transport hub. It's also a bit of a tourist destination, as you can see why. So there's the very famous harbour bridge. I worked in Sydney for a little while, and one of the things that I really enjoyed about it, so I was staying on a place where it was actually possible to catch a ferry into the city. So every morning before work I'd take a ferry ride under the Sydney Harbour Bridge and land at Circular Quay and then wander to work. So Circular Quay is where all the ferries, you can see the ferry just in the foreground of the bridge there if you look very carefully. Yeah, Circular Quay is kind of one of the central ports for all the ferries. So all of the ferries that go around the harbour dock there for people to get on and off. When we get up a bit further, I'll turn around and show you. But as you can see, like, there's lots of kind of really pleasant eating places. They're not exactly cheap, but mind you, nothing in Australia is cheap compared to Thailand. But yeah, nice eating places and the like. Had a couple of breakfasts in these places. Certainly when I finished work in Sydney, I came here and had breakfast on the harbour. All sorts of tourist attractions. Okay. Alright, there behind the speedboats with the tourist adventures and the people in the splash coats because they're going to go on a thunderboat journey. So anyway, behind all that stuff, that's Circular Quay. So as you come around the corner here, kind of you're walking along here looking at the bridge, and then as you come around the corner, there's the other main attraction of Sydney Harbour, the Sydney Opera House. So I hate to think how many photos both the Sydney Harbour Bridge and the Sydney Opera House have featured in, but I'm sure if you'd Googled it, you wouldn't be spoilt for choice. No, that's wrong, you would be spoilt for choice. So they're the pretty famous sights and sounds of Sydney. Well, Sydney Harbour anyway. If you ever look under the bridge, you'll be able to see Luna Park Sydney. So that's one of all the fun fair places that's sprung up around the place. And has been an entertainment centre for quite a while. Closed down for a little bit, but they did a big renovation and it's open and operating again. Anyway, so that's the Circular Quay part of Sydney Harbour. Sydney Harbour is massive, but what I thought I'd do is go for a bit of a walk along the shore. So if you get to the Opera House and turn right, you can get down along the shore down there. So as you're walking along, the Botanic Gardens are on your right hand side, so you can go for a walk in the gardens, and then the harbour is on your left hand side. So it's a really nice walk, and I thought I'd go for a wander along there and maybe find somewhere where I can grab lunch if I get far enough along. The sun has peeked out from behind the clouds, which I'm pretty happy about. When I left the hotel this morning, I discovered that it was actually quite cool. So I don't know if you can tell, but I'm wearing a very summery shirt. So I'm happy that the sun's peeked out. Fortunately, I put on some long pants, so we're okay. But that's something else I'll have to get used to. I'll have to get used to the weather being more variable, rather than just assuming the hot is either going to be, rather than assuming the day is going to be hot, or hot and wet. I might have to think about whether I need to bring a jumper with me some days. There's a fair bit of wind around the harbour too, so you're probably getting lots of wind noise. My apologies for that. But I don't control the wind and I have very limited facilities. So, behind me there you can see the Botanic Gardens, and over that side of the harbour is the North Shore. How would you fancy living in one of those houses? Getting up in the morning, looking out of the window to that. I think I could cope with it. So we're heading along here today, past the naval boats, past Mrs. Macquarie's chair. So it'll be a decent little walk today. Hope you enjoy it. I've just ducked off the harbour for a little while, just have a wander in the Botanic Gardens. They are really beautiful, really well laid out, quite close to the city as well. you can see they're well used. Lots of people about. This is late Friday morning, getting towards lunchtime. Lots of people about, having a wander, having a lounge on the grass. Yeah, it's a really nice spot to be in. Just over in the direction that we're heading is the New South Wales Art Gallery, which I'm not going to go to today. I'm going to head back down to the harbour and keep going along there for a bit. But yeah, this is a really nice area. You could spend a whole day here. You could come and spend some time in the gardens in the morning and then go to the gallery and have a wander around the harbour. So if you're in Sydney with a bit of time on your hands, it's well worth a day down this end of the city. Okay, back on track on the harbour. There's a few spots of rain. I checked my weather app and it's not supposed to rain today, but the good news is it's supposed to get even more windy. Quite a nice view though, but a small problem in our plans for today. I got here and they've closed off the walk, and if I want to, I have to wait till the 23rd of December and I'll be somewhere else. So we will head up here and see if we can find an alternate route that's interesting. I think that area they had blocked off, which is just to my left here, I think that's the area that they set up for the opera on the harbour shows. So I don't know if they're doing that or if they're doing something else. Maybe there's something important happening New Year's Eve that they're setting up for now and then they'll take down later, which matches their stated closure times. Anyway, there's lots I don't know about that. However, as you can see, we're walking a parallel route to down there anyway. So still heading in the right direction. Not sure if this will end up in the video, but I couldn't resist. This is known as Mrs. Macquarie's chair, named after the Governor Macquarie's wife. So Sydney Harbour is used for all sorts of stuff. There's, as you can see, naval facilities here, and it's used for leisure and business and transport. As I said earlier, it's a kind of really big natural harbour and gets used for all sorts of stuff. It's pretty much the centre of Sydney. It's not all of Sydney, there's lots of other areas of Sydney, but this is certainly a place to see. Around every corner is a great view. Lots of people walking and exercising. I'd actually forgotten this is here. There's a public swimming pool here. It's absolutely amazing. There are people doing laps and so forth. It's also a little restaurant too, which would be a nice place to stop for something to eat, I guess. Nice view. But I'm moving onward. The harbour walk is dotted with artworks along the way, which is something I really like to see. Just over the other side there is the Finger Wharf. We're coming to the end of our harbour walk along the shore. but not the end of the day. I'm a bit hungry now, so I'm going to see if I can find some lunch. I'm sure I can find some lunch over at the wharf on the other side. Probably pretty expensive, but I'm sure I can find something there. But let's see what we can do. And indeed, there are some very nice restaurants here. Looks like a few Christmas gatherings out today. Over the road from the Finger Wharf, there's a few places you can eat, which is what I decided to do given how everything at the Finger Wharf was crowded up. I ate here, and it was alright. I went for a steak and chips, got back into Australian mode. It was very tasty, but if I were to be absolutely honest, the steak was a little tough. But it was a good meal nonetheless, apart from that, and I had a splendid lunch. And a little bit further down the road is Harry's Cafe de Wheels, which started as a takeaway food truck in about 1945 and developed into an institution. They are in fact famous for their pies. There are plenty of places to grab something to eat in that area. Now what I'm doing now is I'm cutting inland. I've decided not to go back the way I came, but I'm cutting through Woolloomooloo and heading to King's Cross. Just have a bit of a look around. It's early afternoon, so I get a bit of time on my hands. So we'll make our way to King's Cross, and then I might grab a train home to the motel. But we'll see how I feel when I get there. Okay, we are in King's Cross, which was pretty wild in its day. Been a bit gentrified. Still has its moments though, I guess.
Yeah, make it better.
And here is a railway station, so I might head in and head back to the hotel. Well, that was a pretty good day. It started out a bit wild and windy, but it turned out really nice. Had a great walk too, and I hope you enjoyed it as well. I'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching my video. I really appreciate the company. If you made it all the way to the end here but aren't a subscriber, you might like to consider subscribing by clicking here. Or if you just like to see something else that I've made, click here for something I think you'd like. And if you're feeling like a real binge, click here and it will take you to one of my playlists. Hope to see you on the journey again soon.